But let me show you 30 things, and I'm gonna sit down when I share with you these 30 things. Scientists have come together, social scientists have come together and put together a book called Marriage Matters by Bradford Wilcox. And they say in this 30 things that happen when a child is born out of wedlock, or when marriage is not the focus of a family coming together. And the first thing that it says, that marriage increases the likelihood that fathers and mothers have a good relationship with their children. And that's basically saying that children are going to be born and they're not going to have a good relationship with their mothers and their fathers. 2, children are most likely to enjoy family stability when they are born into a married family. When parents are together, children are stable. They wake up in the morning and they look in the other room, mama's in there, daddy's in there, and they have a stability in their lives, a security in their lives that they don't have when mother and father are not married or they're born into a single household. 3, children are less likely to thrive in a complex household. A complex household is a household where you got half brothers and sisters growing up together. You got step brothers and sisters growing up together. You got one parent who's not a biological parent in the house. And all of this is complex because all of the relationships take on a different character. A step parent can never be a biological parent. They may try, they may be the closest thing to it, they may be the best thing that a child may have, but it still is never a biological parent. And then 4, habitation is not the functional equivalent of a marriage. And 4, when you start talking about habitation, y'all do know habitation is just a new modern big word, amen, for saying folk who shack. Y'all know what shacking is, don't you? Huh? Anybody shacking? Oh, that's all right. That's all right. But cohabitation is never going to be marriage. Folk today want to make cohabitation marriage. But cohabitation is not marriage because you are not legally bound together. Yeah, you can wake up one day and decide, I'm out of here. Yeah, and just think about it. Cohabitation does not allow for you to make the commitments that you need to make. Yeah, cohabitation simply means I'm enjoying all the goodies of marriage and yet I ain't got to pay. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody know what I'm talking about. 5, growing up outside an intact marriage increases the likelihood that children will themselves divorce and become unwed parents. Over 50% of children who grew up with divorced parents themselves grow up to become divorcees themselves. If they grow up in a household where the parent was an unwed parent, it is likely that they will also become an unwed parent. Now, I know this ain't what y'all came to hear on Mother's Day, but this is a good day to preach it. Amen. Because our community is in trouble. The black family is in trouble. When you talk about 70% of children being born out of wedlock, we're in trouble. And somebody needs to talk about it. And if you don't talk about it at church, where you going to talk about it at? We're in trouble. That means we need to pull ourselves together as a community, as a people, and we need to start moving in the direction God would have us to move in and be honored. Number 6, marriage is virtually universal, a universal human institution. No matter where you go, marriage is accepted. Marriage is always accepted. Living together is never accepted. Cohabitation is never accepted. Unwed parenting is never accepted. Yeah, no matter where you go, everybody says go ahead and get married. 7, marriage and a normative commitment to marriage foster high-quality relationships between adults as well as between parents and children. When folk get married, they have good relationships. When they get married, the children have good relationships. High-quality relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. No, I'm not saying that folk who marry somebody and there's a step-parent in the home, that there's not always high quality. But it's a whole lot of stuff you got to work through. And if y'all be honest with me and you living in a complex family, you know it's a whole lot of stuff you got to work through. You got to work with the exes. Y'all ain't going to help me, see. That's all right. That's all right. I'm preaching myself. You got to deal with the exes. And not only do you got to deal with the exes, you got to deal with the loyalty factors from the children to the exes. Y'all ain't going to help me, see. I know what I'm talking about. But high quality can come about, but you got to work at it. Ain't that right, Sprooch? You got to work at it. Got to work at it. Some of y'all may not know, Angela's my stepdaughter. But we worked at it. And we loved our way through it. And she look at me today and she say, you my daddy. And I say, you my baby too. That's right. Because we worked at it. It took us years to work through it. But we got through it. She quit kicking me under the table one day while I sit there and smiled at her and her mama didn't know it. I was winning her hard. Yeah, she just didn't know I was working on her. Kick me, baby. That's all right. I love you too. But I'm saying you just got to work through it. Got to work through it. I wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world now. And so high quality can only come when you work at it. But it's always best between biological parents and children when marriage has happened. Marriage has important bisocial consequences for adults and children. Whenever you find marriages that brings about the quality that it's supposed to bring about, children in every social setting that they're in, whether they're married or unmarried, there are consequences for adults and children. When you're married, if you're in certain settings, you know you're in the right setting and it's okay because you're in a good setting. But if you're not married, you know, man, I messed up. My life is not the way everybody else's is. So it's consequences for adults and children. And then being married or unmarried brings economic situations as well. Number 9, divorce and unmarried childbearing increase poverty for both children and mothers. And cohabitation is less likely to alleviate poverty than marriage. And so divorce and unmarried childbearing increases poverty. Now, you think about it. Most people who have children out of wedlock are single-parent homes and only one income in the home. And that means they got to try to make it off of one income when it's intended to be made on 2 income. And it just makes it difficult. It makes it a struggle. That's why the greatest amount of people who are on welfare are single mothers. Because 99.5% of the time, the children don't go live with the daddy. I know I'm preaching to y'all. Y'all just ready to go, but I'm almost through. I'm just going to go through these 30 and I'm going to sit on down. I'm going to let y'all go and chew on this. At the dinner table, y'all can have fried preacher after this, okay? Right now, I'm going to serve you some steak. And even cohabitation is less likely to alleviate poverty. Why? Does cohabitation, 2 people living together making 2 income, because you scared to put your name together? You ain't going to put somebody you just shacking with on your bank account. They might pick up tomorrow and take all your money and leave because it ain't nothing holding them together. You ain't going to put your name on the house note with somebody that you shacking with. Y'all ain't going to help me in here. Some of y'all might be foolish enough to do that, but you ain't got nothing to keep them there. At least if you got some papers, Texas is it's a common law state that if you married to somebody, amen, you at least get half the property. Y'all ain't going to help me. Let me keep moving. 10, married couples seem to build more wealth on average than singles or cohabitating couples. When you're married, you can work together, you live together, you put your money together, and money of 2 coming together allows you to do better. You can buy bigger houses, bigger cars. You can wear big, finer clothes simply because now you're married. You got all your money together. And let me tell you, 2 incomes is better, amen, than 1. 11, marriage reduces poverty and material hardships for disadvantaged women and their children. A lot of women are looking to get married just so they can get out of the material hardships and the disadvantages of being single for their children and for themselves. Number 12, minorities benefit economically from marriage also. That means even black folk, Indian folk, Mexican folk benefit when they get married financially. You do realize that your benefits go a lot further when you get married, all right? Married men earn more money than do single men with similar education and job histories. 14, parental divorce or failure to marry appears to increase children's risk of school failure. Yeah, just being single and being divorced with children cause your children to do worse in school than if you were married. That means when that boy or girl bringing home that B, a lot of it's because they're going through the trauma of the divorce of the parent. They're going through the instability in their home of the parents not being together and not being stable. And so parental divorce or failure to marry appears to increase a children's risk of school failure. 15, parental divorce reduces the likelihood that children will graduate from college and achieve high status jobs. But not only that, it causes health situations. Physical health and longevity has a great bearing on whether a person is married or not. Number 16, children who live with their own 2 parents enjoy better physical health on average than do children in other family forms. I mean, if your parents are together, you're just healthier. You're a healthier child. You don't have the stresses, you don't have the worries, you don't have the agonies on your life, and you're happy. You don't catch colds as easy, amen. You ain't always got psychological hurts. Look at somebody and say, children who good parents are together don't have psychological hurts. Y'all ain't gonna help me. 18, marriage is associated with reduced rates of alcohol and substance abuse for both adults and teens. People who get married and have children who are in a marriage situation, their kids don't have alcohol abuse nor substance abuse, and the adults don't often have it as well. Married people, especially married men, have longer life expectancies than do other similar singles. Now, you got to understand, when you're married, amen, you live longer. Take your neighbor by the hand and say, get married and live longer. Look the other way and say, stay married and live longer. Somebody say, Pastor, you just need to speak for yourself. This fool I got is killing me. Say, this fool is about to run me crazy. You just don't know what I'm dealing with. Oh, Lord. The statistics say you live longer. Just go and be happy. Put all that stuff on the back burner. Ain't nothing to it no way. And let life.